What's going on, people? This is the ultimate guide considered will be a very long one. It will include every single thing, starting from talents, best in slot gear, entrance, add-ons, macros, engineering, all the items that can help you in CC aka crowd control, and how to not backpedal, click and keyboard turn. I've seen some really popular streamers streaming while they backpedaling slash keyboard turning slash clicking. I won't mention their names, I'm not here Okay, let's start with the talents. The most basic things in the game. Look, people, before we start, I would like to tell you something. 70% of this game is just a common sense. 30% is experience. Period. Not much philosophy over here, really. It's 2020, for God's sake. Anyway, let me cut the bullshit. Let's go straight to the talent points. Improved heroic strike, nothing. Deflection increases your parry chance by 1%. Let's go. 2 of 5. Improved rend increases the bleed damage done by your rend ability by 35%. Now we have tactical mastery. You retain up to 25 rage points when you change stances. This is stance dancing. Okay, let me give you an example of what this talent does. Imagine yourself being in a berserker stance and suddenly you want to smash that defensive stance macro combined with disarm macro, and you want to disarm, I don't know, hunter, rogue, enhancement, shaman, retribution, paladin, you name it, you can do it. Another example, you're still in a berserker stance, and then suddenly overpower procs, you just smash that overpower macro, and you immediately go to battle stance and you just execute overpower on your target. Enough said. I mean, I could give you one more thousand examples of this, but it's like these two firsts came on my mind. It's just yeah, you get the idea of what it does. Very, very simple. Next, we are going in improved overpower, which increases the critical strike chance of your overpower ability by 50%. Now, over here, anger management increases the time required for your rage to decay while out of combat by 30%. When you read this talent, it looks like a garbage, but what it does actually, it generates one rage point every 3 seconds. It's not opposite. I've been asked a lot of times. You don't generate 3 rage every 1 second. You generate 1 rage every 3 seconds, right? Okay, so yeah, it's not that bad. Okay, let's go for anger management. Now, deep wounds. Amazing talent, especially if we have some serious number on that crit rate. Literally second rank. Helps a lot versus rogues, druids, ipods, etc. The harder your weapon hits, the bigger our ticks. Now over here in two-handed weapon specialization, we are going 3 of 5. Okay, 3 of 5. I will tell you later why. Impale, also amazing talent. I mean, just read what it does and how perfectly it stacks with improved overpower and deep wounds. It's just a must. Next, we are going for sweeping strikes. Of course, your next 5 melee attacks strikes an additional nearby opponent. Okay, let me give you an example of sweeping strikes and what it does. You just pop up sweeping strikes, immediately go Zerker stance, Zerker rage, mighty rage potion, blood rage, even recklessness if the situation is very nasty, and just whirlwind, cleave, mortal strike, heroic strike. They're all down in 5 or 6 seconds. I was able to get down like 5 or 6 people in the matter of seconds. It's just heart of the arms warrior. Anyway, that's pretty much about sweeping strikes. Now, this is where it gets a little bit complicated. We will talk about the weapons later, but for now, let's pretend that we are sword specialization. Sword specialization gives you a 5% chance to get an extra attack on the same target after dealing damage with your sword. Okay, combined with the Hand of Justice, it's not that bad. It's actually 7. It's good. It's good. It's good spec. It's good spec. But we'll talk about it later. Anyway, what do we have next? We have improved hamstring. Gives your hamstring ability a 15% chance to immobilize the target for 5 seconds. Okay. Now, when I mentioned that we'll get back to two-handed weapon specialization, I mean, it's just a fucking common sense. I mean, why would you put 4 or 5 points, God for Fate, in two-handed weapon specialization, which will increase. Okay, if you put 1 more % in two-handed weapon specialization, it will give you 5 more damage. If you put 5%, if you fill up the whole talent, you will get another 6. That's 11 damage in the end. Are you kidding me? Are you serious, man? While with the hamstring, you can it's in your benefit to immobilize the target, especially because you're warrior. You're warrior. You don't have problems with melee. You have problems with the ranged classes, such as fucking mages, warlocks, elemental shamans. I don't know, whoever tries to run away from you. So 15% chance to immobilize the target for 5 seconds is a lot. It's really a lot. It does have diminishing returns, but it's still an amazing talent. You can do shitload of damage for 5 seconds, then a miserable 11 damage, which gives you two-handed weapon specialization. I mean, come on, it's just a common sense. There's not much philosophy over here going on. Next, we are going for Mortal Strike. That's it, considering arms tree. Over here we have Cruelty, of course. Cruelty. You know what is this? Now, Booming Voice, improved, Demoralizing Shout, and Unbridled Wrath. All these talents are garbage. All of them. What are we doing here is choosing a smaller garbage than the bigger one. Why? Because we need to go down deeper. The smallest garbage over here that we can choose is Booming Voice, which increases the area of effect, aka your E, and duration of your battle shout and demoralizing shout by 50%. Okay, it's not that bad against the rogues, against the druid, just so that you can just discover them in bigger range, and 1 more minute on battle shout. You know what I mean, you get the idea of what I mean. It's not that bad, but it's still trash talent. Anyway, piercing hole, of course. Piercing hole is just a must. Causes all enemies near the warrior to be dazed, reducing movement speed by 50% for 6 seconds. You can just crowd control the shit out of people with this talent. You can, for example, I don't know, use your imagination. You can peel your flag carrier. You can do really a lot of things. It's just a must. Next, we have Blood Craze, which regenerates 3% of your total health over 6 seconds after being the victim of critical strike. You can abuse this talent. I will tell you later. And over here we have improved battle shout. We're gonna put one, and in the end we have enrage. Okay, considering enrage and blood craze. Enrage gives you 25% melee damage bonus for 12 seconds up to maximum of 12 swings after being the victim of critical strike. And Blood Craze regenerates, as I said, regenerates 3% of your total health over 6 seconds after being the victim of critical strike. What can you do with these talents? As you know, back then, when you were about to sit down, you would get 100% crit. That would trigger Blood Craze and Enrage. However, it doesn't work that way on Classic, unfortunately, due to different core, but it's still doable. Well, at least for Enrage and Blood Craze. Don't ask me anything about Reckoning. I don't know anything about that. Anyway, mashing X still triggers Enrage slash Blood Craze procs. However, there's something else at play here. It has Pandemic, but you have to time it almost correct as lock API functions, aka executing the same code at the same time, and believe me, that's almost impossible. But as I told you, still doable with a lot of practicing. We apparently went in wrong direction over here. This is a warrior guide, not scripting lesson. Anyway, the point of things I mentioned is to get Blood Craze slash Enrage procs whenever you want to. And you can do it by taunting hunters or warlocks pets. Mocking Blow also works. Good luck getting it. Anyway, I never been much of a pocket healing warrior. I just don't like it. Uh, I mean, everyone can run around behind his back with 3, 4, 5 healers. Let's go back to the talents. If you are a type of a warrior that runs around with 3 to 5 pocket healers, you just erase Blood Craze and put 4 of 5 in improved battle shout. And rage remains the same, of course, 5 of 5. That's pretty much it. Okay, considering backpedaling, keyboard turning, clicking, etc. There you go. There you go. Imp string, improved hamstring. How powerful this thing is. Look at the same thing happens to me right now. It's just a must, man. It's just a must. Anyway, we went a little bit out of the road. Let me just unbind this S. Sweeping strikes were on S. Okay, let's go up. Move backward. Move backward. There we go. You can do this. This is right button on your mouse turning. I'm holding right mouse button 95% of the time, but this is backpedaling. This is backpedaling. Don't do this in PvP and PvE, especially in PvP. And this is keyboard turning. You just don't do these kind of things. This doesn't apply only on warriors, but on every single class, and it doesn't apply only in vanilla, aka classic World of Warcraft. It applies on every single expansion that Blizzard came up. This game is old, almost 16 years, people. These are the most basic things. Okay, let's try from tanking perspective. Over here I'm backpedaling, backpedaling. Now I'm gonna keyboard turn. As you can see, keyboard turning. Now we are going to run backwards, aka moonwalking. Yes, moonwalking works in classic, but it's way harder mastering it than it was in vanilla. Alright, let's keep running backwards. As you can see, everything works perfectly. Thunder armor, shield slam, revenge, block, you name it. Macros. These macros are written for vanilla. Some might work in classic, some not, due to core change. But so far, no one complained. If you have some issues, feel free to comment down below. I will fix it. I'll just demonstrate some of them. Charge Insta Zerker macro. This puts you in Zerker stance immediately after you charge. Makes life easier. Don't spam it. You can end up executing charge and intercept on the target in the same time. Anti-restancing macros. Okay, as you can see, I'm in battle stance, damaging Christophos, and I'm in normal battle stance, not the macroed one that I made. What's the point of this? If you're in normal stance and you restance the same stance accidentally, you will lose all the rage, just as I am losing it right now by restancing battle not macro stance. What anti-restance macro does is preventing you going into the same stance you are already, which prevents you losing the rage. This doesn't apply only on battle stance but on Zerker and defensive stances as well. Literally, it prevents you pressing the same stance accidentally, and that, as I said, prevents you losing the rage. Next, alright, a very simple lower power macro. This is battle stance macro combined with overpower. What it does is very simple. No matter what stance you're in, by pressing this you will immediately go to battle stance and execute overpower. Considering other macros, you will find them in the description. About keybindings and clicking, I don't really know what to tell you. I mean, it's a common sense that if you bind a macro, you will execute it way faster by pressing it than clicking on it with your mouse. If you're going around clicking things with your mouse, 22nd century incoming till you kill the target, which is once again a fucking common sense. I can show you my bindings, but that won't help you much cause we are all different. Everyone has different mind setup, not everyone is for PvP, nor everyone is for PvE. We are different. Plus, we have a role playing players in all of this madness. I haven't Anyway, it also depends on many other factors, such as reach of your fingers, your reflexes, being able to predict the next move of your target. Remember when I told you 30% experience? So yeah, all I can tell you that shift and control plays the biggest role over here. So use them, combine them, use your imagination. You don't need a mouse that costs 5,742 bucks with 3,522 buttons. Some Razer Naga or some other shit, I don't know what. You don't need some keyboard invented by aliens. All you need is a fucking simple mouse with two buttons on your left side and that's it. My mouse costs around 10 bucks. Same goes with keyboard, so yeah. Anyway, this is how it looks like. And in some PvP movies, I've seen warriors having like 10 or 15 or even whole right action bars filled with their two-handed weapon. N- Not weapons, but one weapon, one single two-handed weapon. Some binded, some not. I mean, I could understand if it's two, three, fuck it, five. But, uh, but filling whole right action bars with your weapon and binding it, uh, this is the best in slot gear for Arms Warrior in last phase, phase 6. Some may agree, some may disagree. Feel free to comment below. By the way, I'd really appreciate pressing that sub button. Anyway, good luck getting all of this. Head 2.5 AQ40 Enchant Presence of Might ZG. I mean plus 100 health, 7 defense and plus 15 block value is just yeah. Neck Sadist's Collar Necks 24 stamina combined with 1% critical strike plus 20 attack power is way to go. Shoulders Warlord's plate shoulders slash Field Marshal's plate shoulder guards. Rank 13. Enchant Might of the Scourge. Nex. Saphiron. Back. Cloak of Concreted Hatred. AQ 40. The Prophet Scarab. First boss. Enchants plus 3 agility or plus 5 all resistances. Go for plus 3 agility because characters have 2 chances to resist the spells, and plus 5 all resistances won't do you any good in both of them. Chest 2.5 Conqueror's Breastplate AQ 40 Enchant plus 100 health points or plus 4 stats, up to you. Bracers Wrist Guards of Vengeance Nex Anub Enchant plus 9 stamina. Hands General's Plate Gauntlets slash Marshal's Plate Gauntlets. Rank 12. Enchant plus 15 agility. Waist Girdle of the Mentor. Next Instructor. Legs Leg plates of Carnage. Hagen the Unclean. Next Enchant Presence of Might. Feet General's Plate Boots slash Marshal's Plate Boots. Rank 12. Finger Ring of the Kirai Fury AQ 40. Second one Archimotros Ring of Reckoning BWL Nefarian. This thing gives you almost 300 health points plus 14 agility. It's just Trinkets. Okay, over here it gets a little bit complicated. This is what I'm starting with at the beginning. Insignia of the Horde and the Slayer's Crest Naxxramas. But of course they have a cooldown, so I am switching with a lot of other trinkets depending on the situation I'm in. Ranged, it's not soul string, people, it's crossbow of imminent doom. I remember back then on Nostalrius there was a pretty good topic about Arms Warrior best in slot, and they included soul string, they included other items. It was pretty good. It was pretty fucking good. You know, it's they did like 95% of the job over there. But they miscalculated something, and in the end, they came up with 3% hit rating without even realizing it. As you know, you need a 5% hit rating for PvP, at least 5% hit rating, so that your yellow damage doesn't miss. And by yellow damage, I mean Mortal Strike, Overpower, Hamstring, Execute, etc. etc. So at least 5 hit rating. And 5 hit rating you get from shoulders, from Warlord's plate shoulders. That's 1. Cloak of Concentrated Hatred, that's 2. Girdle of the Mentor, 3. And we have General's Plate Boots, that's 4. And the last one is Crossbow of Imitating Doom. That's total 5 of hit points. I mean, it's not only that. I mean, look at the crossbow, look at the stats. It's just insane. And the reason, if you wonder why do I have only 3 parts of ranking items, which are boots, hands, and shoulders, are just because of a second effect of the set, which reduces the cooldown of your intercept ability by 5 seconds. And trust me, 5 seconds in vanilla is really a lot. You don't want that 30-second intercept. You just don't want. If you wonder why did I put feet, hand, and shoulders ranking ones instead of okay, let's take for example head and chest. It's just because I found that the most benefits you get of those 3, you can compare AQ, head, and chest with ranking ones. It's ridiculous, really. AQ 40 head and chest are much better, unfortunately. And I like the look of rank 13 shoulders. They look just amazing, you know, while 2.5 shoulders, in my opinion, look like trash. So yeah, you can combine it. You can put, for example, ranking chest, ranking head, etc., etc. But this is my choice. The second thing about the gear is I'm really swapping it a lot, just like with my trinkets. It all depends on situation I'm in. Okay, for let me give you an example. All right, this is just like a flag carrying, war song flag carrying set. So here we go. Goblin rocket helmet, skull of impending doom, nifty stopwatch, Goblin Rocket Boots combined with the Noggenfogger Elixir, Swiftness Potion, World Enlarger, Free Action Potion. You have even that rabbit form, you know, rabbit form to make you even smaller. I mean, good luck catching me. And I have a special shield for that even. It's dropped in a Naxxramas trash. Actually, it's really easy to get it. Its Stygian buckler, when struck, has a 15 chance of reducing the attacker's movement speed by 50% for 5 seconds. Anyway, the gear you see on me, don't put the seal on it, and it's just like that. You know, there is a lot of gear swap. Oh snap! Someone just killed. Well, rest in peace, Nefarian. Anyway, It's not like I'm playing with this gear all the time. It's just a lot of gear swapping, and that was just one example of gear swapping. I could give you 1,000 more depending on the situations I am in, depending against which class I'm fighting. It's a little bit complicated, and this video is already long enough. It will be long enough already. I can make a video of an arms warrior that lasts 20 hours, but who's gonna watch that? I mean, it will be long enough already, at least 1 or 2 hours. Okay, weapons time. In case you guys didn't know, the slower the weapon, the better it is, at least for warriors. I can't really comment on all the weapons that you are about to see. I just can't. If you have some question, feel free to comment down below. I know that I missed some weapons from AQ 40 or AQ 20. There are some swords, but yeah, like I said, feel free to comment down below. We will start with the swords, then we will move on axes to maces. Polearms I won't mention because I never play with polearms. I just don't like animation. That's all. Okay, time to mention some items, consumables and trinkets. I can't explain each item, just read what it does and figure it out. What can you do with them? If I start explaining what each of them does and how it can help you, this video will go too far. Okay, magic dust, very useful in CC. You can do miracles with this. This thing is just amazing. This combobulator ray slows down your target's movement speed by 20% for 12 seconds. Crystal of Zin Muller, amazing trinket against seduction, hunter traps and polymorphs. As you can see, it's still quest item. Do not finish the quest. Elemental Sharpening Stone gives you 2% crit chance on your weapon. Persists through death. This is literally third finger / trinket. Large rope net, similar to Gnomish Netomatic Projector, except it's not a trinket and it has only 1 minute cooldown. I mean, what can I say? Jungle Remedy cures disease and removes poisons. Okay, Dragon Breath Chili, Noggenfogger Elixir, drink it, it makes you smaller, you know. Other players will have problems putting their cursor on you. Well, it will delay the time at least. Combined with World Enlarger, yeah, you get the idea. Okay, this is for casuals, living action potion, free action potion, limited invulnerability potion, flask with titans, well, if you can afford one. Major healing potion, mighty rage potion, my favorite one, and elixir of the mungus. Okay, some items worth mentioning. Swift Boots, Spider Belt, Skull of Impending Doom, same effect as Crystal except it increases your speed by 60%. Horned Viking Helmet, similar to Engineering Head. Speaking of engineering, okay, let's go. Arcane bombs, iron grenades, thorium grenades, goblin rocket helmet, gnomish death ray, gnomish mind control cap, gnomish netomatic projector, goblin rocket boots, and yeah, flash shadow reflector, ice reflector, and flame reflector. Then alliance battle standard, horde battle standard, which you get at rank 9. Okay, let's go back. If you remember trinket swapping, let me mention some trinkets. Okay, Hand of Justice, Black Hands, Breath, Tidal Charm, Life Giving Gem, Badge of the Swarm Guard. This is just nifty stopwatch. Slayer's Crest. Well, yeah. Arena Grandmaster, the Burrower's Shell, and of course, good old insignias, insignia of the Alliance and insignia of the Horde. Considering routine, all I can do is to show you the basic things how to open on an enemy. Everything else comes from experience, which class you're fighting, etc. etc. The most basic routine is charge, swap to Zerker stance, hamstring the target. Do not piercing howl, use hamstring. It costs less rage and it has 15 seconds duration, while piercing howl costs 10 rage and it lasts only 6 seconds. Once again, common sense. Plus, you have chance to immobilize the target with hamstring for 5 seconds. Talk about that already. Don't spam it every 3 seconds like 90% of people do. It has 15 seconds duration. You're wasting your rage. Do not spam hamstring every 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds. It has duration of 15 fucking seconds. Anyway, don't get me wrong, piercing hovel is a great talent, but it's not for 1 versus 1, well at least for that first charge. Now, considering kiting someone just to get out of 8 and intercept the target is something entirely else. That's where piercing howl steps on scene, against rogues for example. And once again, 5 of 8 doesn't work only on vanilla, but on every expansion that Blizzard came up with. Then you can pop up Blood Rage, Berserker Rage just to get enough rage for Mortal Strike, Whirlwind, Heroic Strike, Rend, etc., and just continue with your normal rotation. But like I said, it depends who you are fighting against. All this comes from that feeling and experience, and feeling and experience come from shitload of mistakes and bad judgments. One more tip though, increase your camera distance as much as you can, that way you will have a way better picture of what's going on around you. I know that you rely on addons and shit. I am not saying that addons are bad, there are great addons, but your own eyes, yeah, you get me. And once again, this doesn't count only on warriors, but on every other class. Same goes with other expansions, same shit in arenas. And once again, common fucking sense. And once again, this game is almost. And once again, this game is almost 16 years old. Increase that camera distance, will you? By the way, one thing I forgot to mention. Keep weapon train immune disarm on your main weapon. You don't want 10 seconds disarm. Believe me, once you get disarmed for 10 seconds, you're done. Main weapon immune disarm and you can have an alternative weapon which is enchanted with Crusader against casters. Yeah. Are you still with me? Still following me? Good, that's the fucking warrior spirit over there, okay. Now, let's go back on trinket swapping. There's perfect add-on called Trinket Menu. You can do literally whatever you want. You can put trinkets in queue, you can bind them in add-on. That way you will save your action bar slots. You can swap them, depends on the situation you're in. Just like I'm swapping my gear. Okay, let me give you an example. Like I said, this is what I'm starting with. Insignia of the Horde and Slayer's Crest. Now, once I blow them up, I'm taking Black Hand's Bread, Hand of Justice, etc. If I'm dealing with casters, I'm taking Gnomish Netomatic, Projector and Tidal Charm, slash Flame, Ice, Shadow, Reflectors, etc. You get the idea, right? Very, very simple, basic things, the most basic things. And we will conclude this guide with races. What's the best race for warrior? What do you think? Well, just read the racials, people, and see what can you do with them. Game tells you literally everything. Let that bulb cross your mind. That's where we go on the beginning of the video when I told you that 70% of this game is common sense. Okay, Horde, Orcs, Easy Mode, 25% stun resistance. I'm pretty sure that you charged an Orc, it got resisted. Then you intercepted the same Orc, it got resisted. Then you tried to toss Tidal Charm on the same Orc. Well, feels bad, brother, it got resisted. Okay, Blood Fury, X Spec. I mean, come on. Second, Taurens. Increased melee range by 2 yards. Total health increased by 5%. And War Stomp that can be very, very useful in CC. Undeads and Trolls doesn't play a big role. Really. Considering Undeads, yeah. You have a Will of the Forsaken, which can be very, very useful against warlocks, etc. But trolls, not really, nothing worth mentioning. Anyway, let's go on alliance. Gnomes, escape artist. What else would you want as a warrior? Tell me. Next, dwarves. Stone form that increases your armor by 10% and grants immunity on bleed, poison and disease effects. Lasts 8 seconds. Plus 10 frost resistance. Night Elves takes 3rd place. You will be surprised if I start talking how fucking useful Shadow Melt can be in both open world PvP and BGs. And last, humans. Yes, you heard me. Humans are worst race for warriors. Increased spirit, increased stealth detection. The fuck am I supposed to do with that? Alright, perception can be useful against rogues, druids, iPods, etc. But good luck using it on rogues and druids that plays for years. Good luck. Alright, swords and the mace's skill increased by 5, that's alright, but nothing compared to escape artist and stone form plus frost resistance. And as I said, shadow meld. Stats, stamina first, then strength / critical strike, then agility. That would be it considering this short guide. Thank you for watching, see you next time, all the best.